started the recording, and I'm also gonna start the recording from here.
Recording in progress.
Perfect. And also do let me know, is my screen is visible or not. Just share my screen.
Visible, bro.
Thank you. Perfect then. Let me first delete this one. Let it be here, and we'll start from here. Okay. So today's session is about high probability PDRS. It's going to be a eye-opening session for you guys, right? You guys know what PDRS are, but today we are gonna learn something new, something different, which you might not been came across. And I would request everyone to make their notes, not now, when session is over. You go again, watch the recording and make notes. And I hope everybody have watched session 1, because I'm gonna take some reference from session 1 to explain some concepts in this session, right? So yes, so let's start. So today we're gonna discuss about a high probability PD arrays, right? So everybody knows what PD arrays are, but today what we will do, we'll not use this word PD arrays. We are gonna use key label, right? Because this is important word. Why I'm not using PD arrays? Because ICT has taught so many PD arrays, right, which is not useful, right? That's why I'm gonna use key label and to explain all the concepts. Now let's move ahead. Okay, how, just a sec, how I cannot, yes, now there are 4 important key labels we are gonna discuss, and which is important, and which I generally use. Rest are noise, rest are useless, right? Which is not much important for you. So the key label which we are gonna discuss today is order blocks, Fibonacci gaps, highs and lows, and breaker. Generally we will focus on order blocks, Fibonacci gaps, and highs and lows. Breaker is least important, which I generally don't use, but I will explain how, like, which is the most high probability breaker which you can use in your trading, right? So let's move ahead. Okay, so what is order block? We're gonna start with the order block, right? And I'll just give a brief idea about what order block is, but let me explain what is order block according to ICT. According to ICT, last down close candle or up close candle before the impulsive up move or down move is called order block. But this is not the right definition of the order block. You might have heard everywhere on social media, maybe on YouTube or on Twitter, right? So this definition is partially right. This is not the correct definition of high probability order blocks, right? What ICT is trying to say here is that whenever you see last up close, like let's say last up close candle before this down move, so you can mark all the down close up close candle, and this becomes an order block. But yes, there will be so many order blocks in the market. You're not gonna go and mark every order block you see, because it will become messy and you'll get confused. That's why today we're gonna learn the specific order block which is important and which you are gonna mark every time when you see the chart. Right, now let's move ahead. Yes, now okay, so this is the right definition of an order block. The right definition of the order block is a candle. Order block is a candle or a consecutive candles that either takes out liquidity or fills it busy. Keep in mind what I'm trying to say here is that order block is a candle, right? It can be a one candle or it can be a multiple candle, but generally we will focus only on this one candle only, not all the up close candle or down close candle you will see. I'll also explain which up close candle and down close candle to see, but right now let me explain the definition of the order block. let me use this annotation. This is, I guess, perfect. Okay, then what is a right order block according to the definition? So when the definition is that an order block is a candle or a consecutive candles that either takes out liquidity or fills a busy. So the first criteria to become a high priority order block is that the order block should take out the liquidity. If order block is not taking out the liquidity, that means that order block is not a high priority order block. This is the first definition. The second important point to keep in mind is that order block, this is the one type of order block which I'm going to explain, and the second order block which I'm talking about is that whenever you see a fair value gap, right, and when the order block forms at the fair value gap, or when order block fills a fair value gap, then the order block which forms near this order block fair value gap is an important order block, right. Now let's move here and see point number 4. Okay, see, here is the correct annotation of the order block. Now you can see here, this is the swing low, price takes out the liquidity, and here the order block is formed. Now this is the high priority order block. Rest any order block you will see in this down move, or in this up move is useless. It's not that important for us. So this is the order block that took out liquidity. That's why this is a high priority order block. Next order block is that order block that fills the liquidity. Fills the liquidity means what? Like fills the fair value gap, right? So you saw the expansion here, fair value gap got created here, and an order block is formed inside this fair value gap. That means this is a high priority order block. Now let's move ahead. This is here we will discuss about the anatomy of an order block, right? So what is an anatomy? What do I mean by anatomy? Right, anatomy means like which is the important area, right? Whenever I'm talking about key level means it is going to be a level, right? Level means what? It's going to be a price point. It's not going to be a it's not going to be a area, right? It's going to be a price point where price is likely to get react. If I talk about, if you discuss about a fair value gap is an area. This is an area where you don't know from where price will react, whether it will react from this area, this point, you never know. But when I talk about the key level, it is a specific price point, like it's a line, right, where you will expect price to react from. That is the best thing. Please mute yourself. Now come back to this. This is the anatomy of the order block. How to mark the perfect line. So whenever you mark an order block, you always try to mark the opening price or the high of an order block. Generally this price point is very crucial. Why? Because this is where price generally reacts from, right? Either it will react from the high of the order block or it will react from the open of the order block. So what you can do, when there is a long wick, you can mark the high, and when you see the small wick, you can mark the open. Else, like, there's a noise coming from you guys. Who is should mute yourself. I told you everyone to mute, because I don't want any disturbance. Okay, so so in this case, what you can see, this is a high of an order block, this is the open of the order block, and this is the mean of the order block. So what is mean? Mean is the mean threshold of this candle, right? So according to the concept, what you can do, you will mark the high of the order block or the open of the order block, or what you can, else you can mark the whole high and open like this, right? Let me explain how can you mark. Just a sec, let me. Okay, now let me remove all the drawings, and there we go. Let's say if you want to mark an order block, so how can you mark? Let's say this is an order block. So how can you mark this order block? You can mark the order block either the high, okay, like this. You can mark the high of the order block, and say, you can say that this is an important price point where price is likely to get react, okay. Or you can say that, or can you mark this like this, the area where you will expect price to react from. Or if there is a long wick, you can also mark this opening price, right, where price is likely to get react. So it's up to you how you gonna mark, but I generally prefers to mark like this, okay, or marks the opening price, okay, or the high. So it will come with practice that from where price is gonna react, but generally price will react from this wick only. What people do, what others do, they will mark like this the whole candle. That is not the right way to do. Now let's move ahead. So this is how you're gonna do. So how order block is confirmed, I hope everybody knows this. Whenever price engulf this down closed candle, so this becomes a bullish order block. Whenever price engulf this up closed candle, this becomes an bearish order block, right? Either it will engulf consecutive candles, or it will engulf a single candles. It doesn't matter. The only thing which is matter is which is important is that price engulfed the previous candle. This order block is confirmed. It has to close above the opening price, or so the wick as well. Here also it has to close above the opening price. If it closes above this, sorry, not opening price, the high, right? So it has to close above the high. If it is closing above the opening price, then it is not the order block is not confirmed yet, right? So it has to fully engulf the order block. Here also it is fully engulf this previous candle, then only you can confirm the order block. Now let's move ahead. Now this is the very important point you guys should focus here, that this is the right method to choose an order block, right? So how can you choose an order block? The first important point to keep in mind, that if you see a candle taking out a liquidity or a filling liquidity, that is the perfect candidate for an order block. Next is, this is also important, if you see price breaking a structure, okay, then this is also a important point to keep in mind to mark the order block. Next, if the order block have a fair value gap, so if you see there is a fair value gap at the order block, then that makes the order block also a high priority order block. And last, the important point is that if the order block is created within the kill zone, so then also this is an important point. Now you guys know that these are the important factors or the important criteria you should keep in mind while choosing an order block. Now you see that how can you select the order block. Select means there can be multiple candles like having this criteria, but how do you select which one of among those is a high priority one? So you can use this method, that if there is a thick candle with wick, okay, or avoid candles with less body, avoid candles in a range, right? So what you gonna do not mark an order block which is having the less body. Okay, what do I mean? See here, okay, these are the candles. Now you can see or also avoid candles in a range. So now you can see this is a candle, there are multiple candles formed inside this candle, right? So that makes this candle what? A range, right? It's a range. Price is in a range. It's in consolidation. So you're not gonna mark any order block formed inside this range, right? Now also you can see that there's also this, look here, the order block is confirmed. There's also an order block here, but these are not the high probability order blocks. Why? Because it is forming inside a candle. It's in a range, right? Now you can see in the third picture, what you can see, that there is no significant body. What you can see, there is lots of wicks to the upside, to the downside, right? When you see wicks to the upside, a long wick, and wicks to the downside, that is a doji candle. So you're not gonna go and mark the doji candle as an order block. That's not the right thing to do. You see here, there is a long wick to the downside, small wick to the upside, this small body here. That's not a right order block. So do not mark these kind of candles as an order block. So you keep in mind these important points. Now you see how to select the. Now you're gonna use this method, that we're gonna use we're gonna only select the thick candle with a wick. It should have wicks as well, and now also we are gonna also keep in mind these all the 4 important points while choosing an order block. Okay. Now let's see, I'm gonna discuss so many examples, a lot of examples on order block. Now you see here, what you can see, there is a swing low here, right? And price is coming down, right? And it took out the liquidity, and price immediately closed inside then what you can see here, it price closed above this candle, and this is the candle which took out this liquidity, right? That's why we're gonna mark this candle as and my order log. How can you mark? Now look at this second picture. We're gonna use the opening price and this high and the opening price to mark then order block. This is the area where price will react, right? Now here I have drawn a single line like this, the single line I have drawn. So this is, and here now the next candle opens and it immediately came down and it went to this target, right? So this is how you're gonna mark this is how you're gonna mark the order block, right? Now let's move to the this next example. Now here you see, now one thing you have to keep in mind, right? How price will takes out the liquidity. Price either it will take out the liquidity like this, as I just swing low here, it is gonna come and takes out the liquidity and the order block is formed here, right? Or what it will do, it will takes the liquidity of the previous candle. Let's say this is a this is an order block, this is an order block. Let me make a wick to the upside as well. Either the next candle which engulfs this candle, either it will takes out the liquidity of this candle, right, the order block candle, and price closed above the wick like this. It got closed above, let me make it green, like this. So it closed above. Now this is an order block, else this order blocks takes out the previous candle liquidity, then that is also a important point. So if you see here in this example, what has happened, first of all, keep in mind the point which I have explained right now, that it should have either it will takes out the liquidity or it will fills the liquidity. It can also break the structure, it can also have a fair value gap, or it is created within a kill zone. This is the important point you have to keep in mind while choosing an order block. Now let's see this here in this example. This is a beautiful example. Let me remove the drawings. See here, what you can see is that there is a, this is the candle which took out the previous candle liquidity, this is the two approach candle, and price moves aggressively to the downside and also broke the structure, right? This is the important point number one. It took out the liquidity here, check. Second important point, it broke the structure, point number two, keep in mind. The third point is it have a fair value gap, checked. This is checked. The third important point, it has a fair value gap, it also got checked. Now this is my high probability order block. Now you guys will ask, there is two candles here, which you gonna mark? So mark the, look, there is a fair value gap here, so mark the order block which also comes inside the fair value gap as well. So these are the two candles which is coming near the fair value gap. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna mark these two candles as your an order block. Perfect. It also came till this high and we move lower, right? So all the criteria fits in while choosing this order block, that makes this a high probability order block. Let me remove all the drawings, and now we're gonna move to the next important point here. Now let me explain the next example here. Again we're gonna go and follow the same rule again. What you can see here, price took out the liquidity of the previous swing low, it took out the liquidity, price closed above, here it closed above, right? Now what you can see, this is the point number one, it closed above, order block is confirmed. Now it also have a fair value gap, point number two, right? Now we came down, we have tapped this order block high, right? This is the, I told you, right, this is a key level, this is a level, not a area, this is a level where price came, it taps this fair value gap, order block, and it went up, right? So this is a important key level. Now let's move to the next example. This was a pretty simple example. Guys, you have doubts? Let me see if anybody have doubts. Always if two candles shifts the liquidity, can we mark the two candles as an order block? Right now I have explained the candle which took the liquidity, that I will explain that in the right away. Let me there cannot be two candles which are going to take the liquidity. There is only one candle which is going to take out the liquidity, not two candles. Okay, I can show some examples. Now you see here, this is the perfect example. See, what you can see, this is the swing low, right? And price took out the liquidity, right? Which candles took out the liquidity? Is it one? Is it this candle? Okay, is it this candle or is it this candle? This is the candle, right? This candle, so not this one. So we're not gonna go and mark this one. This is the important candle. This is the important candle, not the last one. So see how price reacted from it. Now it has everything. It has everything. What you gonna ask? It took out the liquidity. There is a fair value gap here. There is a fair value gap here. Okay, and now we are coming down, and we also broke the high. Now you see, it's gonna come and it will react from that important this order block only, right? This is the order block, not the last one. This is perfect. That this is, if you wait for this one, okay, this is also an order block. I'm not saying it's not order block, but you're gonna mark the which one took out the liquidity. This candle took out the liquidity, that you have to mark. If you mark the last one, right, so it might not get tapped. Why? Because this is the candle that took out the liquidity. It has also have the fair value gap. I hope this doubt is cleared, right? I hope so. Okay, now you see, yes, this one is I have already explained. Now let's move to the most important point again, that how price taps an order block, right? Like, so there is a two methods, there is two ways, two ways where, like, the method where price will taps the order block, right? Please mute yourself, those who are, I'm not gonna say again, right? Okay, so there are two methods where price is gonna taps the order block. First of all, whenever the order block is confirmed, right now what you can see here, the order block is confirmed how, when price closed above the candle, right? So it closed above here, the order block is confirmed. Now you have to keep in mind that how price is gonna go and taps that order block, right? This is also important factor which you always consider while marking an order block or while trading, like so see, so there is first method, the first way where price can taps an order block is immediate retest, right? So whenever the order block is confirmed, the next candle will open here and it will immediately tap this order block and it will move to the upside. The same thing happened here. Here the order block is confirmed by the candle number 2, right? And the third candle, what happens, it opened and then immediately taps this candle number 1, which is an order block, right? And this third, so yes, so this is what I'm gonna say, this is what is a immediate retest. Price immediately taps the order block when it is confirmed, right? So why I am saying this, because whenever you see immediate retest, it is not so, that is you can use to manage your trades. You can use to add more into your winning positions, right? This is, I'm going to teach you in the upcoming session, but I'm giving some brief idea about how price taps the order block. Now there is a second way, where of price tapping the this is the perfect, this is the best method, this is the best way where price can taps the order block. This is the rounded retest, what I say, the rounded retest. So look here, price took out the liquidity, price immediately engulfed the candle number 1, right? And the order block is confirmed. But now what you can see, price did not the third candle did not open and taps this order block, what happened? It went up, right? How it came? It came in the rounded way. Rounded means what? There will be space between the order block and the candle which taps the order block. Like there will be space. There will be space when between the order block and the candle which will tap the order block. So this is the perfect trade you can take. This is the perfect order block which you can mark when you see price doing a rounded retest to an order block. This is the best and high probability trading conditions, you can say. Okay. Now let's move ahead. I cannot. Okay, so now let's move ahead. Now let me explain the example. Let me show some examples of it. Okay, now you see again you will see price took out the liquidity here, right? It came down, a order block is confirmed here, but what you can see, price did not immediately tap this order block. How it is going to tap the order block? It is going in a rounded format, right? There is space between the order block and the candle which taps the order block. There is space, right? There is a space. So this is a why it is important, because you have to keep in mind that price is holding below this order block. That is the important point to keep in mind. This is the rounded retest and price came down like this. So yeah, this is one of the high important point. And now you can see that this also fits in the high probability order block. How? Let me explain. First important point is that it took out the liquidity, point number 1, right? It broke the structure, point number 2. Okay, there is a fair value gap, point number 3, and price is doing the rounded retest, point number 4, right? So this is every criteria is fitting in, and now this becomes my high probability order block, right? Now let's move ahead and to the next example. Now this is also a good example of rounded retest. So this what I can see, this candle took the previous candle liquidity, right? It also broke the structure, and this is a fair value gap. So point number 1 again, point number 2 again, this is a point number 3 again, and price did the rounded retest. It did not immediately came like it did not immediately came. It has some gaps. There is a small gap. There is a small space between the order block and the candle which taps the order block. I hope this is the important concept is clear to you guys. I hope. Okay, I guess there is no doubt, and we shall move ahead. Now this is the one of the high probability order block. This is what I trade. Okay, let me have some water. Okay. Now you can see here the last order block which I have discussed is the order block which took out the liquidity, right? But in this order block, this is the order block which fills the FVG. It will fills the FVG, right? So now here this is a fair value gap, perfect. This candle, I'm talking about this candle. This candle fills this fair value gap. Price closed below this candle. Now this order block is confirmed, right? And now this order block is confirmed. Price immediately look how this is the immediate retest of the candle. Now this is my high probability order block, right? The candle which fills the fair value gap. See, look here, it fills this fair value gap. This is my high probability order block. Now it will tap the order block like this immediately. It immediately taps and it move lower, right? Now let me use the drawings, and again I guess there is no doubt. Okay, let's move ahead. Again what you can see here, again let me use the annotation. See, it took out the liquidity, one condition, it moves up. Okay. Okay, there is one more thing too. Let just focus here again, just a sec. You can what I'm trying to say here, come back. Okay, now you see here. Okay, okay, see there is a fair value gap here. Price came down, and this is the candle, like this candle. Let me annotate as a candle number 1. This candle fills this fair value gap, right? And price closed above this. So now this is my order block. Now see, and now what happened? Price came and it taps this order block, and we move higher. See, it has wick to the upside as well, to downside as well. It has also a small body, so it makes sense. You can use this as an order block. Okay.
Bro, but I thought you said we shouldn't use small body, avoid small body order blocks.
Perfect. I said you should avoid the smaller body order blocks when it is in range, right? See, this is a you should avoid this kind of order block here. These all are the small body order blocks. Okay, but what you can see here, there is a wick to the upside, there is a wick to the downside, and this is all small body. But this candle is filling the fair value gap, also taking out the liquidity. So you can also use this kind of order block. I'm saying, look, what I'm saying is that small, pretty small, so negligible. Like you cannot see that, like this candle. See this candle, such type of candles you should avoid. Such type. Like this. See this candle. Okay, do not mark
Got it.
Okay, you can use this. This is a perfect. I have backtested this order block. This is the perfect order block you're gonna use, right? Even I will explain the real trade examples which I have took only basis on this kind of order block as well. Okay, now let me move ahead, because there's a lot of slides are there. I guess it's 43 slides. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Okay, now if you guys are watching this video with fully focus, with your 100% attention, then you might have seen one order block which is right over here, which is right here, right, which I have not. This is the first type of the order block which I have discussed, which is taking out the liquidity, price closing above, having a fair value gap, right, and price is doing a rounded retest. Perfect. This is an order block as well. See how which I have not discussed. Let me, every time I doing, now see, this is the order block right here. This order block I have, if here, see, price took out the liquidity, closed above, and we did the rounded retest of the order block. Now here what I have explained, here I told you that fair value gaps, fills the order block. Like whenever you see an order block filling a fair value gap, then that is a high probability order block. Perfect. But you can also use in case of order block as well. Now you can see this is an order block, and this order block also taps this order block. Now this also becomes a high probability order block. So you can also use in both the way, but I generally use only in the case of fair value gap, not in the case of order block. Okay, but this is the first type of order block. This is the second type of the order block. You have to focus only in only these two type of order block. Rest is not that important. Now let's move to the next slide. Slide number 20. Explain this. Now see. Okay, so this is the smash candle. Smash candle I have explained right now, but let me explain once more. Smash candle is a high probability order block candle that takes many candles liquidity, right? As I'm trying to say here, let's say there is a swing low, right, and price is taking up the liquidity right here. But if there is space, or if there is price is taking out I guess 20 candles liquidity like this, or 10 candles, it has to be greater than 3, right? It has to be greater than 3. Okay, it has to be greater than 3. So if price is taking out a liquidity of more than 3 candles, then this is what I say is a smash candle, right? Smash candle is smashing the liquidity of many candles, and this is also one of the type of high probability order block. Okay, now you can see here that there is a fair value gap, right, and this is a low, swing low, but you can, if you count, there will be more than 20 candles, right? So price is taking out the liquidity of last 20 candles and price immediately closed above. You're gonna mark this order block like this, the high, and you will expect price to tap the order block and move higher, right? This also becomes intermediate term low when price closed above. Like see, it immediately opens and it taps the order block. So this is the important order block which I called as mass candle. Perfect. Okay. Let me move to the next slide. You can also see this. There is a last, you can count, if you count, there will be more than 10 candles. Price taking out the liquidity of the 10 candles. Price immediately engulfs the candle which took out the liquidity. See here. This is the candle. This is the candle. This is the candle which took out the liquidity, right, of the last 10 to 20 candles. This candle engulfs, so this becomes my order block. This is how we're gonna mark. Look, if you want to mark, you can mark it like this. This small area where you will expect price to react from, right? Let's go to the next slide. Okay, see this is how price reacted. This is a small area where price reacted and we moved lower. Okay. Now also let me show some more examples, right? There is a consolidation. There is a lot of candles. Price took the liquidity of lot of candles. It also have a fair value gap just below it, right? And price closed above. This becomes my order block. Okay. Look again, I am saying this candle number 1 took the liquidity, right? But this candle is a small body, long wick, so I will not consider this order block. If you take this candle number 2, this is also a one important candle which taps this fair value gap and also took the liquidity. That's why it has a good body, small, good decent amount of wicks as well. That is why I'm going to mark this order block, this candle as an order block. See what happened? This candle is my high probability order block. Price immediately open. This is the immediate retest and we move higher, right? Okay, now move to the next slide. Okay, now this is the bonus point to keep in mind. Okay, this is also applicable to the fair value gap. Okay, what is the bonus point? Your high probability order block will fail. Okay, there is certain condition when our order block, which is a high probability order block, is going to get failed. If you are trading against the order flow session is already completed, and if you're trading against the order flow, then every order block you will see in the direction of the order flow is gonna fail, right? And if there is no clear target, if you don't have clear drawn liquidity, right, what will happen most of the time is that I remove all the drawings. What will happen is that there will be an order block, right? You will mark the order block. Okay, you will be waiting for price to tap this order block, right? But before tapping the order block, and this is your drawn liquidity, before hitting your drawn liquidity, price will go and move to your target, right? Then after that, this high probability order block doesn't make any sense. Okay, so if your drawn liquidity is already made, if your target is already made, then do not go and mark the high probability order block to again trade, right? So this is the important point what I'm trying to explain here, is that do not, if you're trading against the order flow, if your order block, if your drawn liquidity is already made, if your target is already been hit, then do not use that high probability order block or any order block you say, right? Now let's move to the next slide. Now let's move to fair value gap. Okay, I hope the order block concept of the order block is already cleared, and we're gonna go and go to the live chart, and I'm gonna mark it out. But let me complete the fair value gap as well. Okay. So according to ICT, right, there are lots of fair value gaps you wanna mark. He also use BPR, he also use implied fair value gap. There is also a concept of redeliver rebalance. There is also a reaper fair value gap. There is BCCB. There is inversion, right? But these all are the nonsense. Okay, okay. People will try to use this, words to sell you dreams, sell you coaches, but do not fall into these traps, because all these fair value gaps are not important. These are useless. Okay, only important fair value gaps out of this is inversion, you can say, or BPR. Rest are nonsense. Okay, why I am saying this? Because these all are the fair value gaps we're not gonna use. I'm gonna give you only 2 to 3 condition or 2 to 3 specific order block fair value gaps which you're gonna go and mark, and believe me, those all are the high probability fair value gaps in the chart or on the chart. Okay, now let's move. What are those conditions, right, to mark out the high probability fair value gaps? Let's move ahead. So these are the 4 important high probability fair value gaps. We will be only focusing on these fair value gaps. What are the which is number 1? Fair value gaps which is created after breaking highs and lows are the important fair value gaps. Next, fair value gaps having consolidation. Third and fourth is not that much important, but I have added for your knowledge. Fair value gaps created after rebalancing a fair value gap created after disrespecting a fair value gap. But we are now only be focusing on these 2 fair value gaps, which is important. Okay, now let's move ahead to the first type. This is the first type we are going to go and discuss. Okay, now you see here, fair value gap created after breaking high or low, right? So this is a swing high, and price broke this swing high, right, and fair value gap created at this swing high. So this is my high priority fair value gap. And see how price came in the rounded format. It came to this fair value gap and we moved higher. This is a type 1 fair value gap. See, believe me, this is a high priority fair value gap. Now let me explain with some more examples. See here. Look, there is one more important thing to look for. Look, there is a swing low here. Price broke this swing low. Fair value gap created here. Now you will get confused, bro. There is one more fair value gaps is here. Which one to choose? Okay. So choose the fair value gap which is created when breaking the low, right? So if you see this, this is the fair value gap. This is the fair value gap which is created while breaking this low. This is not this fair value gap is not much important. This is the least important fair value gap. So this is the fair value gap which is important, the first one, not the second one. And also you can see this here is that there is also one more swing high is there, swing low is there. So there are 2 swing lows are there. So more these swing lows or swing highs, let's say if you're gonna see like this, if there is more swing lows like this and price broke the low and fair value gap created here, right? Now the more the swing lows, more it become the probability becomes much more higher like this. So here in the first case, what you saw in the first case, you saw that there is only one swing, there is also 2 swing high, but if you see there is only one swing high here. But when the second case, this is also which is more high probability than the first one, because there is 2 swing lows, price broke this swing low, fair value gap created here, and what I will do, price will go and tap this and will move lower like this. It will go and it got tapped here and we moved lower. This is beautiful. Okay. Now let me go and explain with more examples so that it will totally engrave in your brain. Okay. Again you see here what happened, price took out the liquidity. Okay, here it broke the low here and fair value gap created. There's two fair value gaps. There's one fair value gap here and there is one fair value gap here. Which one to choose? Think for 5 seconds. Which one to choose? Right. So what we will choose the first one. Why? Because this is the fair value gap which is created while breaking the low. So that's why this fair value gap is important. Okay, we go and we just went up and price got tapped. It got tapped here and we moved lower. Pretty simple, pretty easy to identify and pretty easy to mark. Okay, again let me explain more examples. But you saw there are lots of lows. I told you, right? If there is lot of lows, more than one swing points are there at the fair value gaps, then it becomes much more, the probability increases, right? See, there is one swing low here, 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 and price broke this low. Please bro, do not mark this one. Okay, this is also important. Okay, you can also mark this, but I would rather focus on this one, right? This fair value gap, because this is the fair value gap which created while breaking this low. So yes, you can also consider that price can go here. It just tapped or just missed by few ticks, but it happens. But this is the high probability fair value gap. Okay, which I'm gonna. But if you see this, if you focus here, look, there is a fair value gap here, there is a fair value gap here. But now you will not get confused while applying the rules. This is fair value gap number 1, fair value gap number 2, fair value gap number 3, and fair value gap number 4. Last two is not that important for us. Only thing which is important for us is fair value gap number 2 and fair value gap number 1, and out of these two, this is important. Rest is trash. This is how you're gonna go and select the high probability fair value gap. Okay, you not get confused that which one to choose, which you should avoid. Okay, now again with one more examples. If you see, this is the example of fair value gap created after rebalancing a fair value gap. Okay, see this. Let me go to the first point which I explained here. This point which I am trying to explain here. Fair value gap created after a rebalancing a fair value gap. Okay. Now come back to the slide. See this. If you'll focus here, there is a fair value gap here. Price rebalances this fair value gap, and after rebalancing, there is fair value gap got created. Okay, perfect. Now, and the first point of the high probability fair value gap is also met here. See, price broke the high here and fair value gap created. So both the conditions is present here. Okay, that is why this becomes a high probability fair value gap, and we moved higher. Okay, now let's move to the next slide, next example. This is the example number 3. This is the bearish example. Okay, and the condition is, okay, now let's go to the next, the third, I guess this is the first one or what. Let me see this. Okay, this one I'm discussing the second point, the fair value gap having consolidation, right? This is also one of the important factor you should keep in your mind, okay, while choosing the fair value gap. Okay, let's go to the slide, like this. See this. Let me remove all the drawings. But you can see that there is a consolidation and there is a fair value gap just above the consolidation. What happened? Price went above, taps this fair value gap, and we moved lower. Also, if you can see, there is swing lows are available here. There is swing low here, there is swing low here, and price broke the low and fair value gap created while breaking the low. So both the conditions is meeting here. That is why this is a high probability fair value gap. Okay, now let me move to the next slide. Okay, we just came to the first slide. Okay, we were here, I guess. Okay, see, so in this case what happened? There is also a high probability order block is available. Price took up the liquidity and order block is perfect while rebalancing a fair value gap. This is also high. This is a high probability order block. Now you see, price broke the swing low, fair value gap got created here, right, and there is a consolidation. Okay, so whenever you see consolidation, you should be happy. Why? Because consolidation will give birth to expansion, right? So you saw there is a consolidation here, price went and it fills this fair value gap, and this is a high probability fair value gap, perfect, because there is a consolidation below, price broke the low, both the conditions are here, and we moved lower. This is also a perfect example of a high probability fair value gap. Now let's move ahead. Let me explain one more example. What you can see, there is a consolidation. See, this is a candle and there are so many candles are there inside this candle. That's why it's a perfect example of consolidation, and we have a fair value gap just below it. That's why this is a high probability fair value gap. And also you can see this is a line up a swing high, price coming and it's breaking the swing high and also getting a fair value gap. So both the conditions are there. Look, it doesn't have to be all the conditions. So if there's only one condition is being met, then it makes sense. There's no need to force the second one or the third one or the fourth one. You just need only one. Sometimes if while choosing a one, you will find the next one is also there. So it happens, but do not just be, it has to be one. There no need to be all the factors should come at the same time. Okay, what you saw here again is that this is also a high probability order block. Price took out the liquidity and it got engulfed immediately. So this is also a high probability order block, but we are discussing about the fair value gap. Okay, now let's move ahead. Let me remove all the drawings. Now see, the next fair value gap which I'm talking about is fair value gap created after rebalancing a fair value gap. Okay, so this is a fair value gap, huge fair value gap. Price just went up, came down, and a fair value gap created just after rebalancing the first fair value gap. So this is a high probability fair value gap. It also broke the low, good one. And when it broke the low, this intermediate term high is get confirmed. If anybody can explain that why this is why I'm choosing this fair value gap as a high probability one. The reason is simple, because if there is a fair value gap, price rebalances this fair value gap and a fair value gap again got created. Why it is high probability? Because this becomes an intermediate term low according to session 1 order flow chapter, right? So intermediate term high, and I already told you that this intermediate term high is a strong high, right? This intermediate term high is a strong high. So that's why I chose this fair value gap to price to react from, keeping in mind this high will remain intact while price hitting my target until price hitting my target. Okay, that is the reason why this is a high probability fair value gap. Okay, so see this is a fair value gap. Price created a fair value gap after rebalancing the first one, and now you can clearly see that price reacted from the fair value gap and we took out this swing low, the target is met. Right, I hope everything is clear. Now let's move to the one more example of the same kind. Okay, what you can see that price broke the swing low, perfect. Okay, and fair value gap got created, the first type, which is high probability one, which is a type 1 high probability fair value gap. The next, what happened, while after rebalancing this fair value gap, this fair value gap is created. So this is the high probability fair value gap. Why? According to the first I have explained just a moment ago, it also broke the low, good one. Now you can see that this becomes my intermediate term high. Okay, this becomes my intermediate term high because price broke the low and fair value gap got created here. Okay, so everything is coming at the same place. Everything, all the factors, all the important point which I have discussed is coming at the same time at the same place. That is why it is a high probability conditions. Okay, high probability PDRS you can say. Okay, that's why what happened, price came, it will tap this fair value gap and it can move lower, like this happened here. Again you see there is a fair value gap created, so this is also high probability. After breaking this low, fair value gap created, high probability fair value gap, broke low, fair value gap created, high probability fair value gap. Okay, beautiful. Now move to the next slide, slide number 38. We are just nearing to the session, end of the session. Now you can see there is a fair value gap here, price rebalances this fair value gap, we came down, we broke this low, and we also have a fair value gap created just while breaking this low, this swing low. Okay, and one more condition is already meeting here, that there is a consolidation. Okay, when you see this consolidation you should be happy, and price taps this fair value gap. What will happen now, price, people will get stuck, people will try to trade this consolidation. But what will you do, you will just mark this important key level or fair value gap and you will wait for price to tap this key level. Until then you do not do any bullshit here. Okay, right, so this is how you're gonna do. Why? It's a high probability fair value gap, rebalances a fair value gap, broke the low, new fair value gap got created. That is why it's a high probability fair value gap and we moved lower, right? Now let's move to the next slide. Okay, breaker. So before going to the breaker, the concept of breaker, because this is not that important PDRA. Okay, because there will be multiple chances you will get stopped out while trading the breaker. Now we will go to some live chart and we'll try to mark the key level. I'll just take few minutes to explain this. I guess there will be lot of conditions. Well, we'll find this kind of price actions. The only way to avoid this kind of price action is marking the key level, waiting for price to tap this fair value gap. See here what happened. Price took out the liquidity, price broke the low and fair value gap created. So this is a high probability fair value gap. We moved lower, target is already met, so done. Right, perfect. Best thing you can do is go and practice by yourself. This is where how you're gonna learn better way. Price broke the high here and a fair value gap created at the high, and if you focus with attention, with your full attention, then you can see there will be a there will be a consolidation here. Okay, and what happened, price just went up like this, it went up and new fair value gap is also created here. Okay, and if you see, this is the candle which rebalances this fair value gap, so this can also become, this is also an order block candidate. Say price closes above this, so if it got closed, this becomes my order block, it will tap this. What happened, there is also a fair value gap got created here, So everything is coming at the same place, and look, there is a clear target here, right? So this will work until this target is met. That is what I'm saying. If the target is price already met, hit the target, then there's no need to trade that. What happened? Price, okay, I guess again it tapped. Did not target is not met, I guess. Yes, that's right. The target is not met, and see how price taps this favorable gap and the order block, and we moved higher. Okay, this is the important point. The bonus point is the important point to keep in mind while trading. This is a high probability order block. Perfect. I told you, explained you. The smash candle. This is the candle which is taking out the liquidity of many candle. Around, see, 14 candles, right? So there are a lot of candles. Or no, not 14 candles. It has to be greater than 3. So around 4. Good. No issue. So it took out liquidity of this, and if price closes above this candle, this becomes an order block. What happens? Price closed above this candle, and now this becomes my order block. Now how to mark this? I already explained. This is a long wick. So what you can do? You can mark this wick where price can react from, right, and wait for price to tap this. Perfect. Got this. And I will wait for price to react like this, right? So perfect. Got this. Again, you see here price broke the high and the favorable gap got created, and we moved higher. Perfect. See here it got filled. The price broke the low and favorable gap got not got filled. Here it tapped. Sorry, it got tapped and we moved lower. Immediate retest. Okay, this is a beautiful example. Both examples are here. See this. Okay, gorgeous. Lot of examples to explain. Perfect. See this. Price took out the liquidity. Price broke the high. Favorable gap created while breaking the high. Good job. And we also have a consolidation right here. Right. Good job. Good thing. And now price taps this. Look, it is a long favorable gap, right? If you don't know where price will react from, mark this swing high near. The high is here. This is the high. Okay. So we will wait for price to tap. The price will generally go and tap around this, and it will move higher. Perfect. Almost to the tick. Like this. Okay. We moved higher. So this is the favorable gap. Rebalances. This becomes a high probability order block. Price moved higher. Okay, and we broke the high. There is 2 swing point. Keep in mind, guys. There is one more swing point here. There is one more swing point here. Two swing points are there. Price broke the high. So there is also a favorable gap here, and it's not important. The only favorable gap which is important is this one. Price broke the high, and also this is a favorable gap created after rebalancing this favorable gap. That's why this is a high probability favorable gap. Okay, so what are you gonna go do? And it will mark this, and it will come and tap this, and will move higher. Again, what you saw, price broke the high, favorable gap created. The target is already there, right? So you're gonna expect price to react from this favorable gap. Okay, it got filled. So there will be certain situation it will get filled. Again, what you can see, it broke the high low, right? There is a favorable gap here. There is 3 favorable gap. Which one to choose? Which is here, the upper one. Why? Because it is favorable gap created after breaking this while breaking this low. So this favorable gap is not important. This one. We'll wait for price to go tap this, and okay, like this. It got tapped here, and we moved lower. Perfect, right? And there is also consolidation which you will look for in price, right? So that it makes sense. Okay, we hope this is clear. Now it's your job to go and practice on the charts. Now let's move ahead. Okay, there's a doubt, so let me see what doubt you have. Let's take the doubt of, okay, go ahead, coach Mayur, go, you can ask your question.
Vikas bro, just wanted to know, sometimes it get very confusion that the order block should be marked order block or should be marked FVG. So most of the time when we mark FVG,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then price goes all the way down or up and goes to the order block and stop down. Or sometime when we mark like order block, then it take a reaction from the FVG. So just want to know, is there any way like we can see that how the order block or FVG is gonna react, and based on that reaction we can take our action.
Okay, there is a way, but it will come with practice. If you see, how it is happening, but there is a way. There is perfect. There is absolutely there is a way. Now, if you see here, let me explain. What happened here? There is a fair value gap here, right? If you see a consolidation below the fair value gap, generally you will see it will not go to tap the order block, right? And if you mark this as an order block, these all are not the high probability order block. Okay, so I would say price will react from this fair value gap, not from the order block. And sometimes what you will see that in case of order block, price is already, it will tap immediately. So if it already immediately get tapped, then it's not gonna go and tap it once again. So 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 I guess this is the reason, this is the way. But if you'll show some examples now, if you, then only I can explain in much more better way. Let me see if there is any. Look, there is a order block, there is a fair value gap, but price get it from this fair value gap. Okay, how to know? What you can do, mark the order block as well. Okay, like this, and also the fair value gap, and expect the reaction from the fair value gap, and put the stop loss in such a way, even if price left from this order block, you will not get stopped out, like this here or here, right? So you can use this method. So anticipate that both fair value gaps and order block will price will react from, it can react from either of them, but put a stop loss in such a way that you will not get stopped out if price react from any one of them. Okay, this is also, now you see this is a fair value gap, it's a long fair value gap. Okay, but you don't know from where price will react from. So what you will do, you will go mark the swing high near the fair value gap, this one, but this one has a fair order block as well. Okay, so you mark this swing high. Now the area which is above this swing high is least important, this is not more important. Which is important, the important is this small fair value gap and this two order block. What you can do, you go and mark the order block as well. Okay, and you will go and mark the fair value gap as well, the smaller one here, and you will anticipate price to react from either of the fair value gap or from the order block. Okay, and we will put a stop loss in such a way, if I will put the stop loss here, so I will not get stopped out. Perfect, even if I get stopped out, then I am wrong. Got it? Now I will show with some examples. Now if this is all are the hindsight charts, but if I will trade live, if I, then I will show some of the okay, let me go to the BTC chart, Bitcoin. Perfect, then only I can explain, because in Bitcoin I took the trade. So let's see, there was a order block also, there was a fair value gap also. Just a sec, if I can see. No, there was no order block, sorry, there's only fair value gap. Okay, I was not anticipating price to tap this fair value gap. This is the order block. Okay, you don't know whether price will react from this order block or it will react from this fair value gap and move lower. In such case, go to the higher time frame, 12 hour. If you go to the 12 hour, it means higher than the time frame you're looking into, then you will have the clear picture, this fair value gap. Perfect. So now this is the reason, this is how we're gonna do. If you're confused, go to the higher time frame, you will have the clear picture. This is how I did. This is where I just entered here and put the stop loss such a way that I'm not gonna get stopped out, even I am right. I hope it is clear, Mayur. I'll explain much more in the later session. Okay, because I don't want to explain with the hindsight examples. I will explain in better way when I myself executed that trade. Okay, let's move ahead to the next part. Okay, last one. Okay, breaker is not that much important, but you can use it if you want to. Okay, breaker. So how to identify the perfect breaker? Breaker should be thick and bulky. This is one more important point. We do not want to see price closing inside the fair value gap, or sorry, inside the breaker. It should be breaker, and try to club fair value gap and order block with the breaker. Okay, the perfect example of the breaker: swing high, swing low, swing high, price broke this swing low, and there is a breaker here, right? But you will see, you try to club the breaker with the fair value gap. If there is a fair value gap here, then it makes sense. This is a fair value gap, and also there is a breaker. Okay, and this breaker and fair value gap both coming in the premium, right, not in the discount. Then only it is useful. If it is coming in the discount, then avoid that kind of breaker. Okay, and generally you use this breaker while managing a trade. Okay, do not try to use to enter or exit positions. I don't think it's a perfect PDRS to trade. Okay, but if you want, you can use, because I've already given you some of the important points of regarding breaker. Let me show some examples. See this perfect example. If I will trade, this is swing high, this is the swing low, and price took out the swing high, price broke the low. So this is a thick candle, right? It's a thick candle which took out the swing high, and there is a fair value gap got created. So I'll club this breaker with this fair value gap together, right? I'm not gonna use alone, right? It has to be clubbed with any other PDRs as well. Okay, so here I will be expecting price to react from long area, long price point. Okay. So you see the next slide, it got reacted, right? Price spike up to the upside and it got reacted to the downside. Perfect. Now let's see last example of that breaker. And remove all the drawings. Okay, if you see this, there is a swing low, there is a swing high, price took out the swing high, price broke the low, and fair value gap got created, right? And also you can club this fair value gap along with this last 3 down close candle before this up move. This can be a order block, or you can also choose this thick candle as your order block, only this thick candle. If you choose this, then it also good. See this thick candle, and I do not want to see price closing inside the breaker, so it looks price did not close inside the breaker, so it makes sense. But if you want to use, now you can use it while managing the trade. Let's say you sorted from here, you sort the market from here, and price while retracing you want to see that breaker is holding the price, then only you will be confidence, to hold the trade much more longer. Okay, so you will
Bro,
yes bro.
which candle you are indicating? Thick candle means I didn't understand.
Thick candle having a lot bulky lot of body, small and less wicks. Okay,
Okay, means this one which you were
this second one,
indicating right now.
this is the
Oh,
first
okay.
this is the first candle, this is the second candle, and this is the third one. I'm indicating the second one.
Okay.
This is the thick candle. You can mark all the 3, but if you want to be specific, you're going to mark the thick one, the second one. Okay. Okay, I guess this is all about breaker. This is very easy, everybody knows, and there is no such thing called high probability breaker. It becomes high probability only with a high probability fair value gap. Price broke the low, fair value gap created. This is the high probability fair value gap. So it's high probability fair value gap, and also there is a breaker. Perfect. Both you can club this together. Now the last slide of today's lesson is all about the highs and lows, right? But this I will discuss much more in turtle soup session, because in that session we're gonna discuss about turtle soup, and we'll come to know about highs and lows much more better way. So we're gonna focusing on the high that break the low, low that break the high, and some of the important highs in the market as previous day highs, previous week highs, previous month highs, uh, and lows. So these are the important highs and lows in the market. But right as of now, I'm pausing this uh, for this session. We're gonna go and learn this highs and lows thing in the turtle soup and CRT session, right? Not, this is not much important for today's session. Okay, so today we have discussed about the high probability order blocks, fair value gaps, and as well as breaker. Okay, so what I am trying to say here, this is one of the important session. You wanna go watch this video again and again, try to understand what I'm saying, okay, each and every word, make the notes, practice as much as you can, okay? As much as you can. You guys will not believe that I have practiced a lot. Nobody taught me the order blocks which is high probability, nobody taught me which is a high probability fair value gap. Everything you have learned today is all my own discovery while practicing in the charts, while putting my charts time into the charts, right? So you have to go and do the same thing. You might come across some more insights about these high probability order blocks and fair value gaps, right? And if anybody says that go and use this PD array, that key level, that key array, that key level, and do not listen to them. Focus only on this 4. This is only the 4 important, and out of this 4, keep only these 3 is important: order block, fair value gaps, and high and lows. Breaker, it's up to you whether you're gonna use or not. Okay, so tomorrow we're gonna meet with the next session. We're gonna discuss about the marking the key level, and we are gonna also I also gonna take some doubts, okay, if you are having. And so your assignments will be go and practice at least 50 high probability order blocks and 50 high probability fair value gaps, hundreds. Then only your eyes will get trained, okay? If you go and put everything in the assignment section in Discord, I will check every one of you, and if there is something you might be doing wrong, then I will point out in the tomorrow session. Okay, until then, enjoy your weekend and see you tomorrow.
Bro,
Bro, I had a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you switch to slide 38, please?
Sure. Let's me go to the slide 38. Just a sec, bro. Okay. Let's go to slide 38. There we go. We are on the slide 38.
1 second. So we can say like for example,
Yes, bro.
how do you say? So this was rebalanced.
Perfect.
Then this would be a order block as well, right?
Yes. Perfect. That can be order block.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then what about this FVG?
Perfect. That's also high probability busy. But it did not get tapped. But yes, that's also high probability busy. Because if you see, first condition is already met. Price broke the low. Fair value gap got created here. And also it is coming while price rebalancing a fair value gap. So yes, this is also high probability fair value. Both, everything.
And then the other question was that you see in this instance, like, okay, now this I guess would be high time frame, but you see like price took liquidity,
Perfect.
broke structure, yeah, and then we have high probability, I would say FVG or
No,
BISI or whatever you call it.
look. This fair value gap is not a high probability fair value gap, because look, I'll explain why not. It's a fair value gap. Avoid the fair value gap, okay, which is created like this. So let's say this is the first candle. So this is the second candle. this is the first candle, okay, and the third candle. We will take out the liquidity the first candle, and it will close like this. Right, so this is a fair value gap. So about this, look, in this case did not took out, but if you will go and see in the different broker, it must have taken out this like this, right? So, and this is a huge fair value gap. So if you see such a huge fair value gap, right, avoid trading this fair value gap, right? The only conditions where you can trade this fair value gap, when you see a fair value gap created after rebalancing this fair value gap like this. If fair value gap would have created here, then only you could have traded. I will explain with one more example. Let me, this was a perfect good question. I forgot to add this thing in this slide, but I will explain. This can be the perfect example. See, not the perfect, but yeah, it can be explainable. See, this is a huge fair value gap, perfect, right? It's a huge fair value gap. It's not a tiny, not a decent one, right? It's a huge one, okay. But what you see, the third candle, which makes the fair value, which completes the fair value gap, took out the second candle liquidity. So in this case, I do not trade this kind of fair value gap. But when should I trade? When I see a order block forming, a high probability order block forming here, or a high probability fair value gap forming here, then only I will trade like this. See, rebalances, this candle rebalances this fair value gap, and again it did not form. Again there is no order block formed here. Now it got formed. Now this is my high priority order block. So in this condition, this is how we're gonna trade. It got tapped and we got reacted from it, right, like this. So this is how you're gonna trade, yeah, this kind of fair value gap. I hope that thing is clear, bro. Hello.
Yeah, makes sense. But okay, just on the same chart, go back. There's another big one. This one, this particular candle.
Yeah, go ahead.
So again, the reason like I particularly get confused, it took liquidity, it created a fair value gap. Yeah. So
Perfect.
I would have expected price to do this, right?
Yes, you can buy.
In a-
Yes, no. It's perfect. There's no wrong in that. You can get wrong. No issue. You can get wrong. There might be, the same thing. You keep in mind the order flow kind of thing. There might be a high probability key level here, right? Might be the order flow might have changed. So it make no sense, right? If you keep in mind the session 1, I told you, na, if the like this same thing again, if you see there is a fair value gap just above it, okay, and price just took out, see, if price took out the liquidity, if you go to the 1 hour time frame, what you can see, there's a fair value gap just above it. So this is not much important right now, right? This is not much important. This order block is not much important. Why I'm saying so? See, if you, that's why I have explained, keep, go to this bonus point. Where is, just a sec. I know, yes, this one. Why your high probability order block will fail? When it will fail? When you're trading against the order flow, when there is no clear target or drawn liquidity. If the order flow is changed, if there is a high probability key level just above it, then it will get failed. This is how it got failed. If you see, this is the high probability order block, perfect, high probability fair value gap, everything is met, but just above it there is a high fair value gap which is in daily time frame, right? So this makes sense that price will go and tap this fair value gap, not gonna react from the order block. It might get react, it will show some retracement like this, and but eventually it will go and tap this or fair value gap. If it would have been like this, let's say, let me remove before forming this, let's say the order block, let's say the fair value gap in daily time frame is not formed yet, right, but price broke the low like this, and so now it makes sense that price is gonna go and react from this and it will move lower, right? But what happened here is that the fair value gap is already, at this moment of time, the daily time frame fair value gap is already formed, right? And now so this the importance of this being the high probability order block or the fair value gap is already gone, right? That's why I'm saying do not trade against the order flow. If there is no clear target or drawn liquidity, then it make no sense and to trade that high probability order block. Perfect, guys. You go and practice this, na? You'll get to what I'm trying to say. Always keeping the mind session number 1, which I have discussed, right? That how and when the order flow is gonna change. Perfect. Hope it is clear,
Yeah.
right?
So I have a doubt.
Okay, go ahead.
In what time frame should we go and mark all these things? Like when we know the order flow right now, like in order
Go and mark in the 1 hour time frame. You can go and mark in any time frame. It's up to you. Okay. You can also use to enter a trade. You can also use to mark a high time frame key label. Right? It's up to you. But I would say go and mark in 4 hour, 1 hour, and daily. Okay.
okay. So
So, like, I have a quick doubt. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Perfect.
Okay. We have seen intermediate term high or low, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Whether only the MSS confirms those intermediate term highs or lows, or
Right. No,
there is
MSS confirmed. Yes.
MSS high probability.
Yes, MSS. If there is a market shift, it doesn't need to be higher time frame market shift. If there is a lower time frame, then it makes sense. Okay. All right then. You guys go and practice. I'm expecting 50 examples of each order blocks and fair value gaps in the assignment section, and I'm gonna go and check everyone's assignments, and if I see anything is wrong, then I will definitely gonna point out to you in tomorrow's session, right? Tomorrow we're gonna have
I have just one doubt.
yes, go ahead.
The recent, trade you shared in of Bitcoin, I
Yeah.
was also anticipating that market would go down. But when I put out my fib, it was in a discount zone. So I said, let price come into the premium, then I will be
Okay.
anticipating to go down. Can you please share why didn't you wait for premium?
Okay, I will explain this in tomorrow's session. Is it okay, right?
Yes, okay.
Okay then. So have a good night or good morning wherever you are, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.